Hello everybody, good afternoon, good morning or good evening from wherever you're zooming in today to join us for the Trust for Sustainable Living's 2022 International Primary School Debate focusing on climate justice. Welcome to our judges, our moderator, to our student participants and the teachers, parents and classmates that are undoubtedly supporting them behind the scenes as well. We welcome you for today's session. This year, we received 1,122 essays on the subject of climate justice from 246 primary students spanning 59 countries. And I'm delighted that the top 2 performing essay students were invited to today's debates, and many of those have been able to join us to share their thoughts on climate justice, specifically thinking about intergenerational equality, gender inequality, racial inequality and economic inequality. And we look forward to hearing more on those topics from the students when we have our debates later on. But I'd like to introduce or ask our judges to introduce themselves, and then I'll be handing over to our moderator. So if I can ask Barry, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, I'm Barry. I'm a scientist. I'm also the chair of the trustees of TSL.
Thank you very much, Barry. And Lena.
Hi, good morning or good afternoon. My name is Lena. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Exeter, and my research looks at partnerships between conservation organization and indigenous people, especially in the Amazon forest. And I'm also a youth activist. I'm really trying to push for inclusion of youth in decision-making processes around climate topics. And I'm really excited to be with you today and hearing from you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Lena. And Chrysanthi.
Hello, everybody. Chrysanthi Sotiriou from Greece. So excited to be here with you. I'm a teacher trainer, and I particularly enjoy being with students. So I'm looking forward to your presentations.
Wonderful, thank you, judges. I believe most of you know me, but for those of you that don't, my name is Kirsty Shakespeare, and I'm the International Education for Sustainable Development Manager at the Trust for Sustainable Living. And we have a couple of other colleagues from the Trust with us today. Carl, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, thanks, Kirsty. I'm the Executive Director of TSL, and I'm just going to be there as a support for the judges today if they have any questions. So look forward to listening to the students and to meeting the judges.
Thank you, Carl. And Natalie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie, and I'm a freshman at UCLA studying environmental science. And I was actually a debater in 2018 and 2019. So it's very exciting to see. This is my first time doing the debates online, and I'll be helping out with everything Zoom and tech related. And good luck to all the debaters.
Wonderful. Thank you, Natalie. Again, I think most of you know Eva, but Eva, you're welcome to introduce yourself for those of you who don't know you yet. You're muted.
Hi, friends. I am Eva Ellis. I am a coach and an author, and I am proud volunteer organizer, Zoom and communication for TSL events. Very excited. It's that time of the year. Welcome, everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you, Eva. And finally, our wonderful moderator for today's primary session is going to be Anthea Lawrence. So Anthea, over to you.
Thank you, Kirsty. Hello, everyone. As Kirsty mentioned, my name is Anthea Lawrence. I'm from the Seychelles. I'm an environmental student in Greece, final year, and I'm currently working on my thesis and also helping TSL with social media and first-time moderator as well. So looking forward to hear from everyone the points that they will bring forward. Should I start with the program now? Today, the program, we will have the 4 themes present with us in the following order: generational inequality, gender inequality, racial inequality, and lastly, economic inequality. After each presentation, the members of other teams will have the opportunity to ask questions for the team that has just presented. This can be done by raising your hand virtually or type in the Q&A box. Once all the team have presented and shared their ideas, we will then move on to the debate part. This is where we will have take a step back and see the bigger picture We will take a look at which points and arguments put forward by the teams and have the greatest impact to create the climate justice. After the debate, we will take questions from the audience or any comments that may have been made to the debaters. Around 12:30, we will finish with the debate, and we'll have a 30-minute break where the judges will deliberate on your ideas you have presented. At 1, we will come back and have the award ceremony. During that time, you can either turn your camera off or leave and rejoin with the same link. So this is the program for today. I just want to wish the debaters the best of luck and have fun. Now we will invite the first team, Generational Inequality, on screen, so they can share the presentation with us.
Trust for Sustainable Living, Generational Inequality. Next slide, please. Here are our team members. If you could kindly introduce yourself. We'll start with Alexandria.
My name is Alexandria de la Paz, and I'm from the Philippines.
Hello, my name is Annika Babarwal, and I am joining this debate from the United Arab Emirates. Let's introduce Janavi. Janavi?
Janavi, you there?
Janavi?
Janavi isn't in the Zoom.
Okay, move on. We can get her to join later.
Janavi is in the meeting, but she's not a panelist yet. Kazan, please.
My name is Kazan, and I'm from Malaysia.
Next, we'll be moving on to Lawrence.
Hi, I'm Lawrence, and I'm from Kenya.
Neil.
Hello, everyone.
Oh,
I'm Janvi. Hello, I'm Janvi from Primary 1 group from India.
Neil, if you could please continue again.
Yo, I can hear your voice.
Neil. Okay, Real.
Hi, I'm from Singapore and I'm Real Chu.
Next slide, please.
Kirsty, Eva, we can't see the slides. I can't see it. We never found it.
Alexandria will be presenting next.
Okay. Climate change causes extreme weather changes like drought and flooding, which can lead to the destruction of crops. Next slide. With food shortage, the younger generation won't have enough nutrition for their education and daily activities. Next slide. Malnutrition can also affect their growth in the long term. Next slide, please. To solve climate change and bridge the generational gap, the older generation and the younger generation should work together. The older generation can teach the younger generation how to farm, plant trees, and grow crops because they have more knowledge about these activities. The younger generation can give knowledge and new technology that can be used in farming. Planting more trees and crops can prevent climate change because they remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and improve the soil. They give people more access to food, especially the children whose health is most affected by climate change. Next slide. Another way is through awareness campaigns. It is important for the youth to spread awareness about climate change. Even if we are young, we can make a big difference. The next speaker is Annika.
Thank you, Alexandria, for the wonderful insights. Hello, everyone. Would you like to hear a story? That of a boy named John back from the 1900s. Let's time travel. Next slide, please. Back then, whilst born in Somalia, would you believe it if I said John was blessed with all he needed, along with clean water and nutritious food? As living in the 1900s, nothing, even in Somalia, was close to its horrendous present. It was once the most strategic nation in the world, believe it or not, and at a point in time, it was termed as the Switzerland of Africa. Somalia is one of the most impoverished nations worldwide. After all, climate change and economic inequality worsen together, dragging along generations. So in current context, newer generations or generations to come face issues such as poor healthcare and sanitation simply due to the lack of affluence. Next slide, please. Is this what our world should look like? A world where this generation faces what their former generations have only seen the tip of? A world where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? The huge economic gap between generations clearly shows a discrete link of social, gender, and of course, generational inequality. Let me now hand it over to Janavi.
May I start speaking?
Yep, Janavi, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. So this is Janvi from Primary 1 Group. And my point is how climate change is affecting the young people's health. Next slide, please. Young people are not getting a good food quality. Thus, given power is decreasing day by day. We have just gone from coronavirus, which was a result of climate crisis. Next slide, please. So we can say harmful bacteria and viruses create a new disease, which are present in air particles. Apart this, some human activities, such as dumping waste in open, excess use of vehicles and factories are the main cause of poor air quality. Next slide, please. Some water bodies like a river, ponds, a lake, etc. are also getting polluted because of human activities, due to which aquatic animals are dying. Next slide, please. So all these impurities lead to unhygienic environment conditions and a major cause of climate change, climate crisis. Next slide, please. Some steps should be taken to avoid these conditions, such as to use 3 years concept, promote organic farming, create awareness, plant more and more trees, etc., which will help us to decrease the effect of climate crisis. Thank you. Up to you, Kizan.
Right. Today, I'm to talk about how people are getting pushed into poverty because of natural disasters. When a person in the family obtains poverty, the next generation will also have poverty, hence causing a vicious cycle. Next slide, please. Here are some solutions. Next slide. What? Governments should implement clean energy systems in the city. The decarbonization of energy systems will give billions of people access to modern energy services, making them affordable for younger generations. Additionally, the government should use better urban development to make more compact solutions, stay connected, join cities, and boost economic growth by easing access to work and housing, such as the smart city in Singapore. Third, farmers should make more sustainable land while switching to a more sustainable farming method combined with strict forestry protection. Fourth, governments should implement better water management systems. For example, the accomplishment of efficient water meters in Singapore has helped citizens use water more wisely, especially in younger generations. Next slide, please. To conclude, traders and sellers should use the circular industrial economy strategy. It could better global economic activity for everyone while reducing pollution. Next slide. That's all for me. On to you, Lawrence. Thank you, President. So I'm going to discuss why it is important to be in harmony with nature. The effects of climate change has been as a result of the pollution of our environment. Human activities such as deforestation, water and air pollution, the release of carbon emissions by the industries have resulted to many natural disasters, including drought, famine, rising of sea levels, and flooding. It's very important to be in harmony with nature. This is whereby we take care of our environment by conserving the water sources, avoiding human activities along water catchment areas, managing carbon emissions, that especially by the big industries that release a lot of carbon, and also managing our ecosystems. Thank you. So I'll give a chance to Neil.
Hi everyone.
Next, we'll be moving on to Neil.
My point is, younger generations face the consequences of the lifestyles of their actions, or the results of the actions of their older generations, such as parents and grandparents. Second industrial revolution in the late 19th century to the early 20th century was focused on mass production. During this period, the basic energy source was coal. Then eventually emerged petroleum and gas. Industrial revolution, powered by burning in coal and pig, pumped a huge amount of pollution into the air. Development transportation systems resulted in large-scale burning petroleum, diesel, increased the amount of greenhouse gases. The world population increased by 50% in the first half, 200% in the second half of the 20th century. The increase in living standard, depletion of natural resources, then the use of chemicals and fuels resulted in the increase of air and water pollution. The consequences above said activities of our old generations is the global warming, environmental pollution, and depletion of biodiversity. The global warming temperature increased by around 0.6 Celsius during the 20th century. All the disasters resulting due to the global warming has been borne by the younger generations.
Moving on to Rio.
Next slide. Thanks, Neil. I'll first like to start off with the effects of climate change. Many people do not realize that the effects of climate change often cause a chain reaction. Take, for example, rising sea levels. Rising sea levels, which are caused by the melting of glaciers and ice sheets, which subsequently can result in permanent flooding of low-lying areas. People living in those areas are then forced to evacuate, and factories will be forced to shut down due to the flooding and lack of workers. Next slide. So what can we do about it? Through the power and outreach of social media, we can shift our attention from raising awareness about climate change to how the viewer could be affected by climate change through secondary and tertiary effects. Making it easier for the viewer to relate to the climate crisis. In relation to technology, reducing and recycling our e-waste is also another effective measure given how much technology we use today, and at the same time reduces the chances of toxic materials from our electronic devices contaminating our natural environment. Next, Anika would present the summary of our presentation.
I think my internet cut out. I can't see the summary slide yet. It's still on Real Solutions. I don't know why.
I can see it on my screen, Annika. Are you able to see it yet?
Yeah. So to summarize, there are several different ways that youths like people like us and you, can limit climate change. So the first point is tree planting programs, as mentioned by Alexandria. We can have clubs and time where we can plant trees. In fact, if every single one of us planted a tree, that would still not be enough to wipe out 90% of carbon dioxide in the environment. But to go a really substantial step, every person on this planet has to plant at least 60 trees. So all the 7.7 billion of us, 60 trees each. Awareness campaigns. Again, as mentioned by Alexandra, we have to raise awareness, as generations in the past may or may not be aware of climate change and the climate crisis in today's world. Now, we also have nature-based solutions, like Lawrence mentioned. Again, we don't necessarily have to use technologies. We can have simple ways such as planting trees, and health and sanitation need to be improved. As generations are moving forward, economic inequality is becoming a bigger deal. And so health and sanitation quality is going down and down, as mentioned by Janavi. There are several things that this generation has fewer than what earlier generations had. We can seek the government's help to increase the minimum wage and increase school subsidy and improve segregation practices. Next slide, click. We can boost economic growth, and we can also have social media campaigns where we make, again, young people and youths like you guys aware about climate change, also about generational inequality. Click again. We all need to make a big difference, and click again. The climate crisis is a child's right crisis, and we are living it. If we don't stop now, generations will only face worse. And the slideshow ends here. Also, to make a point apart from this, generational inequality, in my view, is the mother of all inequalities. As generations are progressing, we are facing the same inequalities, all the inequalities in this debate. Generational inequality, the mother of all, economic inequality, gender inequality, and other types of inequalities too, like racial discrimination and racial inequality. Now, instead of addressing these issues, generations are passing these on to next generations. So later generations will face the same issues with them not addressed. And the problem is we're not aware enough. And we have to use cohesion and communication to simply connect our generations, to get them together. And I feel very deeply about this topic, and so I wrote a poem about it. I picture a tomorrow that will be, given where we are, knowing what I see. I'm all of 10, and I thank heaven, for I got to see a day we call today, with forests and trees and the birds and the bees, with mighty Arctic ice and the ozone layer nice. I have water to drink, even fill up the sink. I can choose what to eat, no wonder deforestation's at peak. My AC works so fine, global warming, no business of mine. I can drive and be driven, pollution, good riddance. My toys are just fantastic, so what, they're plastic? I need armor fur, who cares, tomorrow they won't purr. Rhino horns are so distinct, no wonder they'll be extinct. Blue Sphinx macaws are all dead, yes, I prefer them as pets. Vaquitas count less than 30, who said our ocean's dirty? The list can just go on, thank God I was born. Tomorrow will be dark, tomorrow will be bare. The tomorrow that we stare is a tomorrow we don't care. Should this not be our fight? Isn't it tomorrow's right? To see what it's like today, to live in a better way. How can we steal what's theirs? My heart just almost tears. Let's save all that's left, because it's really simply theft. We're taking much more than ours. Generations will be left just stars. Glaciers and forests will vanish if we don't start to banish the wrongs we do today and start to mend our way. I picture a tomorrow that will be, given where we are, knowing what I see. I pledge to make it better. I pledge to mend my ways, and I pledge to make tomorrow a tomorrow that will stay. Thank you.
Thank you, the generational team, for these lovely ideas and points that you have put forward. Now I will ask if there are any questions from the other teams for the generational inequality team.
Or from the judges as well, Anthea?
Yeah, or from the judges.
I have got a question.
Go ahead, Chrysanthi.
So, first of all, I would like to congratulate you all. It was a really nice presentation. And I was wondering, would you like to tell me, how did you work it out together? I mean, the process of collaboration.
I think I can answer that one. So we all started off with a slide that Alexandria created on Google Slides, and yeah, we did have a lot of spamming in Slack. We did communicate with each other, and we were trying to make each other understand the ideas that were going behind the inequality, and the later step was to actually make this slide and create the speech. We all tried to stay within 1 minute each to make it fair. Some of us may have extended the limit by 10-15 seconds, but I think overall us as a team did a really good job. And yeah, I think that the teamwork was just mainly because we were communicating, and again, like the same idea that I had to communicate generations, cohesion and communication. We did exactly the same in a group, making the impact the biggest that we could possibly make it.
Thank you. Thank you, Annika. Well done, everybody. I really enjoyed your slides and your presentations. It was really nice.
Thank you, Chrysanthi. I will now invite Lena. Do you have a question?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, congratulations to you all. It was really inspiring. And there were a lot of solutions, which I really liked. And I was wondering if you could tell me, where did you get the ideas or inspirations from, yeah, to describe all these solutions? Thank you.
Again, I think I'll answer that one. I think it was mainly collaboration. We thought of solutions with each other. We again communicated. We allocated some solutions for different people. So for example, Alexandra did awareness campaigns and tree planting programs. So like that, we thought of these ideas because again, like I said, it's a child's right crisis and we are literally living it right now. So seeing what's going on in the world, knowing what today and yesterday are like, we're trying to see what the tomorrow is, just like I said in my poem, which I have written. So yeah, I think it's mainly we got these solutions from looking at the world around us today and thinking, how can we make this world better? How can we improve what's going on in the world right now? Not only due to pollution, not only climate change, but all the inequalities which come together to form generational inequality.
Thank you, Annika.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the team that would like to add on? Okay, thank you. Now, should we call upon the team two? Are we ready, Eva?
I guess we are now.
Natalie, I'll add if you remove.
Yeah, okay.
End it.
Oh, hang on a minute. We've got someone competing to screen.
Back from climate change. Next slide, please.
Next slide. Hi everyone, I'm Avantika Dutt. I'm 9 years old. I study at International School Seychelles. Here's my amazing and hardworking team. Team Gender Inequality Primary. We have India Kaiwan from UAE, I Avantika Dutt from Seychelles, Baran Samri from Turkey, and Muhammad Ayub bin Ahmed from Maldives. Next slide, please. The topic that we're focusing on today is how gender inequality impacts climate injustice. Women and girls are at a higher risk of experiencing negative effects. Dive into this in much more detail below. Next slide, please. Topics to be covered. What is climate justice important for women and how are they impacted? How women could help combat the climate crisis. The climate crisis and gender inequality, two sides of the same coin. Climate change is one of the greatest challenges of our time. The impact of climate change is felt more by women as they are at the receiving end in most cases, with low-income jobs, responsibility to look after dependents, lack of education, and thus lower prospects. Let's talk about some facts. Next slide, please. As per UNICEF, 1 in 4 girls drop out of secondary school. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Women earn 60% less than men on an average. Next slide, please. Globally, 31% of young women are not employed, educated, or trained compared to 14% of young men. Next slide, please. Women of all ages are not supported around their feminine wellness needs such as periods and giving birth. Adults and girls many times are shy and feel afraid to go to school because they feel insecure. This can impact their access to education. 1 in 9 people don't have clean water close to home, while 1 in 3 don't have a decent toilet all of their own. Without these basic amenities, menstruation can affect women's health, involvement in social and economic life. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. A large number of people exposed to climate or weather-related natural disasters experience stress and serious mental health consequences. Some natural disasters are possibly going to be more frequent because of climate change. All of this impacts mental health and women disproportionately more than men. Next slide, please. Women are more likely to die during natural disasters because they learn less life skills than the men do. Next slide, please. How does climate change impact women and girls? Next slide, please. Climate crisis threatens food security for women and girls. Next slide, please. As per UN, about 2/3 of the female labor force in developing countries and more than 90% in many African countries are engaged in agricultural work. With climate change, traditional food sources are becoming more unpredictable and scarce. Women face loss of income as well as harvests. Related increases in food prices make food more inaccessible to women and girls. Next slide, please. How women could impact climate change. Women can share ideas, innovations, such as filtration and sanitation systems, and contribution to the solution and work partnership. Women are better leaders in terms of crisis. Climate change impacts everyone, but not equally. 100% of the population needs to be involved. Women have a bigger influence in the society and thus can really drive a big change in people's awareness on global warming and make a difference at grassroots levels. I will now hand it over to my teammate, Mohammed Ayub from Maldives.
Hello, it is Ayub from Maldives, and my first point is girls don't have as much access to education, nutritious meals, and healthcare. Gender inequality coupled with climate crisis is one of the greatest challenges in the world. Women and girls are more likely to be affected due to climate crisis in the areas of their education, career, health, and nutrition. During the period of drought, rainfall, and women struggle very hard to meet their necessities. Girls often leave school or drop out of school to help their mothers manage the increased burden of child marriages also will be common because of this. Climate change increases the spread of vector-borne diseases in most countries. Women and girls are more likely to be affected due to climate crisis, climate change, and disasters due to inability of women to take wise and timely decisions, limiting access to service, health, relief resources, and training. Women eat less or last because of poverty. Women are neglected or she herself go behind during mealtime. It leads to the malnutrition and increase of risk of maternal death and child death. Empowerment of women through education is the only solution to upgrade women. Remember, a girl is a student, not a bride. My second point is climate crisis leads to the insecurities of women and girls. The effect of climate change on gender is not uniform. Most of the men's studies have proved gender inequality generally have a higher vulnerability to the negative impact of climate change and lower level of mitigation policies. This leads to the low income, poverty, poor livelihood, and less access to education and career opportunity, especially for the feminine gender. So they are forced to migrate from their native place for education and in search of jobs, which in turn leads to their insecurity. Women have to work for low income. It is noticed that conflict related to sexual and other forms of violence associated with rescue processes are also common in rescue camps. Women and girls are the victim for sexual harassment. Child marriages also increase. Gender balances participation. Women leadership organizations for women empowerment are my solution for the problem. Empowerment of women through education is the only solution for the upgradation of women. Make her strong and let she live. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Bevan, I'm from Turkey. Let's start. Women and girls. Unfortunately, women and girls have little or no influence in global decision making. In general, women have a much more caring nature and would be a great asset when it comes to finding solutions to climate crisis. Women are not only caring but have great ideas too. It would be very helpful to increase the number of women in parliaments across the globe and encourage women and girls to become climate warriors. Next slide, please, Christy. Thank you. More women, hands on deck. If we can enable women to become part of the working force fighting climate change around the world, we will be able to increase the workforce by at least 50%. Women can be great thinkers and they should have equal opportunities with men to put their ideas into practice in the fight against climate change. Climate change affects 100% of the world's population, and it's important that all people are represented in the fight against climate change. That means that men and women should be considered equal when it comes to planning straits so that we can all be part of the climate action movement. Thank you, everyone.
Global warming is one of the leading causes and greatest contributions to the world hunger, malnutrition, exposure to disease, and declining access to water. Climate change affects the economic and social rights of countless individuals. This includes their rights to food, health, and shelter. As climate change will inevitably continue to affect humanity, a key UN priority is the safeguarding the human rights of people, women whose lives are most adversely affected. Women and girls' full and equal participation in decision-making process is a top priority in the fight against climate change. Without gender equality, today a suitable, more equal future remains beyond our reach. Thank you everyone for listening to our team presentation. We hope you all enjoyed it as much as we did making it.
Thank you, Primary 2, for this wonderful presentation.
Can I also speak?
Yes. Bhuvana, that's your name?
Just like a car cannot move forward if one set of wheels are not working, similarly, our society cannot also progress if women do not have equal opportunities as men have. It is always women and girls who are most affected by climate change. In a poor farming household, if there is no food because of floods and droughts, then the women remain hungry. When there is water scarcity, it is women who have to travel for long distances to collect water. Very often, places affected by climate change are very poor and girls do not get proper education. As a result, they cannot go for other jobs as well. Therefore, government should promote gender equality through proper policies. For this, we should have women in leadership positions so that they have a voice in the policies that affect them. The other thing I would like to speak about violence against women. When there's a poverty due to climate change, then the women are more vulnerable to violence from within their own family. They also find it difficult to rebuild their lives after a climate change disaster like a flood because they do not have access to loans and other forms of finance. They do not own any land, although they work in the land owned by men. Many women do not have access to good health care as well, and they will be affected by waterborne diseases after a natural disaster. If you are invisible in day-to-day life, then no one will remember you in a crisis. This is the sad state for women, but we need to change this. Give women education, food, clean water, ownership of land, and access to seed money. Always remember what you do may be a small drop in an ocean, but the ocean is richer by that drop. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhuvana, for your addition. Now we'll invite the judges if they have any questions for the team.
Hi, can I congratulate you on the fantastic research you've done to understand the problem fully? And I was very impressed with the broad spread of your arguments. Can I ask, how did you manage to bring those arguments together as a team? How did you decide which were the important issues? Avantika, please. Yeah.
With the issues, what we did was we looked like online, and we would together we discussed on with our only gender inequality our meetings. We would tell each other what we would say, and we would try to place them where we thought it would be good, and then we would keep on checking the finals every day and practicing.
Thank you. Very interesting.
Chrysanthi, would you like to ask your question?
I think it was Lena before. Is it okay?
That's okay, you have the floor.
Good.
Please, go ahead.
Okay. So I would also like to congratulate you. It was very interesting. I really enjoyed it. And the remarks that Puvana said at the end with that drop in the ocean, that was really nice and interesting, very nice. And as Barry said, we really liked the way you conducted your research. So I've seen a lot of data, a lot of figures. Could you please tell me, where did you find all these? I mean, it was something that you've seen in the library, or you have asked your teachers? I see Avantika, because you had at the beginning that those nice figures. Yes.
Well, I found some of those photos like on secondary school, and those ones I found them on like UNESCO, UNICEF, and WHO. I found some of those photos over there.
Mohammed, yes.
I got help from my teacher and my mom. They helped and supported me a lot.
This is really interesting. You know, at the beginning, thank you, both of you. I have seen that you had that UNESCO sign. So I just wanted to see whether you also got the information from there. And of course, everybody who's next to us, Mohammed, gives us very valuable information. So well done to this team as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Chrysanthi. Lena, pass over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've learned a lot. I was taking some notes. It was really well presented and really clear. I was wondering, out of curiosity, when you were doing your research and preparing, did you find any example of some actions that an organization or a country is doing to promote gender equality, especially in relation to addressing the climate crisis, and you thought, oh, this is a good idea, and maybe other countries or other organizations should do the same? Did you find something like this? Okay, Ivana, go ahead.
In India, there's Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao to educate girls.
Okay, thank you. What is it? Is it a program? Is it at school? How does it work? Can you tell me a little bit more?
Girls usually don't get education, so government is promoting education for girls.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much. Thank you. Avantika?
Yeah, I also found another example. It was in Seychelles, In December 2021, the president, Ram Kalavan, announced that sanitary products would be made available free of charge to all girls in both state and private secondary schools from January 2022, which was this year. He did that so because sometimes when they did not get the sanitary towels, they would have to skip school for a week and something like so that's why he did not, because they would have missed like the
I think we have lost Avantika. You can write your answer in chat if that's easier for you as well.
But I got the idea and it's very interesting. So thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, shall we move on to the next thing? Avantika?
Yeah, should I say my answer again?
I think I understood the idea to give free pads in order to avoid people missing school. So thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you. Eva, should we switch to the other teams now?
Afternoon, Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our team presentation is about racial inequality and climate change. However, we're not only going to talk about those two topics, we're also going to talk about how to solve it, and we believe in it. As a team, we say all colors are beautiful. Next slide. Did you know racial inequality and climate change interconnect with each other? Next slide. But before I move on, we need to understand what is racial inequality. Well, racial inequality is defined as an imbalance in distribution of power, economic resources, and opportunities due to race differences. We, the youth generation, shall all stand together and stop this crisis. Next slide. What is climate change? Climate change is changes happening in temperature and weather due to burning fossil fuels, led by human activity. Next slide. Let me introduce you to our team. I'm Iperi and my teammates are Hiranga, Nelson, Joy, and Emma. Next slide. These are the topics of our mini presentations that me and my teammates are going to cover further on. Next slide. But now, to answer the question, how does racial inequality affect climate change? This is because one person can't fight climate change. It's good. Next slide. But imagine 5 times more. It's even better. Next slide. Wait, no. Imagine all people of all races and all communities. It will be like an army of people trying to help and stop climate change. It will be wonderful. No, spectacular. Next slide. But now, how does climate change affect racial inequality? This is because when natural disasters happen, they break down our homes, leaving us homeless, foodless, and with no education. Next slide. Historically, in a matter of fact, indigenous communities have been subjected to years of colonism, historical trauma, and systemic racism. It is unfair. Next slide. How can we help the indigenous communities? We can help the indigenous communities by giving them equal access to education, job opportunities, access to healthcare, trade and economics, empowerment and encouragement, right to express themselves, and access to mental support. And please remember, no matter what skin color you have, stay smiling and let's start working for a bright, happy future because your skin color is unique. Next slide. At the same time, we can also help by creating a website and put motivating videos all over social media platforms to help motivate people stop racism. Next slide. Moving on to climate justice. I think climate justice is important because we should take care of our planet. We are still humans no matter what skin color we have. This is our home. Next slide. How can we help our home planet? We can help our home planet by stop pollution, not littering, saving water, sharing transportation, conserving energy, using less plastic, using more eco-friendly recyclable materials, and last but not least, recycle. Recycle the things you've already used. Next slide. Moving on to my fellow friend Hiranga.
How we could impact climate change by addressing racial inequality. Next slide. Less inequality will reduce competition between individuals. Next slide. Better access for indigenous people towards formal education and healthcare will help reduce climate change. Next slide. These are the indigenous Vedda people of Sri Lanka, my country. Next slide. Indigenous people depend on the environment for food and shelter. As a result, any impact on the environment will affect the indigenous community much more than other groups. Next slide. Sharing knowledge with everyone will help them better coexist with the environment. There is a lot we can learn from the indigenous people about coexisting with the environment, obtaining medicines in the form of herbs, cultivation of agricultural produce using natural methods, living in the presence of wildlife without harming or attacking them. Next slide. Over to you, Nelson.
Okay, thank you, Hiranga. Okay, topic 1. To stop pollution. To stop pollution, such as air pollution, like to stop factories from making smoke. Next slide. Thank you. A, optimizing the factory's operations, that is use greener, more energy efficient operations. Further environmental advantages of going green include better air quality, lead to better health to all human race. Recycling materials lead to less wastage and it minimizes landfill, trash such as plastic. Next slide, please. Thank you. B, adoption of more electric cars, club cars, bicycles, motorcycles, and even electric aeroplanes. When buying any vehicles, we should consider buying electric vehicles, but not fuel vehicles. Petrol and diesel cars release toxic air pollutants, which add to air pollution levels. Using public transport to travel, invest in e-bus instead of using private cars, vehicles. Next, please. Okay, thank you. Topic 2, helping to protect the ocean and take more action on climate change. Educate the people about the oceans and marine life to help reduce our carbon footprint. By the amount of carbon dioxide released as we go about our daily activities example, switch to LED bulbs, ride a bike and leave the car at home, take the stairs, open the windows for airflow. Next, please. Protecting the ocean is key to fighting climate change. Seychelles, 30% of the oceans are under protection. NGOs in Seychelles, like Nature Seychelles and others, had been planting coral in several areas. Scientists reveals that to preserve the ocean increases food supply and reduce carbon emission. We must protect at least 30% of the global ocean. Next. Pass to Joy. No. Oh, my conclusion. Scientists and people fighting for racial justice agree that the best way to overcome the climate crisis is by allowing and listening to indigenous communities. At the end of the day, all life on Earth is interconnected. Every bad thing we do on land will destroy our ocean. Please let's respect our environment. Pass it to Joy.
Hi, I'm Joy, and I'll be starting now. Everyone in the society, including women and us children, are dependent on the environment for food, medicinal values, and lifestyle. Next, please. Pollution and climate change affects all. Therefore, everyone is entitled to take part in conserving the environment. We can do this by raising awareness about underrepresented groups in the society, like women and children. Once children are taught about the benefits of conserving and not polluting the environment at a young age, we will be prepared. We will be preparing a healthy environment in future. Thank you.
Climate change and newly immigrated people. Next slide, please. Newly immigrated people are not so aware about local environmental conditions. How are they affected by climate change? Why do people migrate to another country? On land. Today, people might migrate to another country because of higher wages, better employment opportunities, and education opportunities. Next slide, please. How are newly immigrated people that are not aware about local environmental conditions affected by climate change? Climate change refers to shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. Therefore, when the people are not aware of local surroundings, they might not be aware of the surrounding conditions. For example, newly immigrated people might be caught unaware of the places they just moved into, as there might be sudden flash floods, heat waves, and other dangerous effects caused by weather. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. And please remember, teamwork makes the dream work.
Thank you, Primary 3, for sharing with us your ideas. That was very interesting. Congratulations. Now I will invite the judges for questions that they may have.
Yeah, I can start. If you want, Yeah, thank you very much for that. I think there were very powerful messages that were shared, so and things that really stick to my mind. So it was really well presented. I was wondering, yeah, how you chose the angle that you were going to choose for this topic, because there are so many topics you can be speaking about within the theme. So here you were talking a lot about indigenous people and also about migration, right? So I was wondering if it's a decision you made as a group, or everyone decided to have a different focus, or how did it work? Thank you.
Can I say, please? We spoke about what are passionate about.
That's the most important. Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead, Ikeri.
How we planned all of this is because we made group meetings with Miss Eva and Christy, and it was a bit hard because we were online and there were sometimes there were internet problems and microphone problems, but we tried our best and we did our best. And we could have never done this without Miss Eva and Christy again.
Thank you. Krisanthi?
Yes, well done again, everybody. It was really nice. I enjoyed your presentation. And I have a question for you, because, you know, the theme that you were assigned is, I believe, one of the most interesting and difficult as well. So I was wondering, what kind of difficulties did you face, did you encounter while you were preparing for that theme? Except for the fact, Perry, that you said with the microphones and the difficulties while being online. Thank you. Nelson, and then Perry, go ahead.
Can I answer, please?
Nelson, you're muted, I think. We can't hear you.
Can I answer, please? We had to remain focused on the topic, and we had to discuss a lot.
Okay, thanks, Saranga. Perhaps a comment from me. I thought you came across as a very hardworking and well-connected team. You know, internet difficulties aside, I think you actually worked together really well, and I think you understood each other's thinking. So here's a difficult question for one person to answer then. What's the one big takeaway message we should take from your presentation in, you know, just a few words? Who can do that? Perry, yes?
We are all people and we all need the same right in the world.
Excellent. That's very good summary. Thank you.
Joy, was there something that you would like to add? Okay. I will thank the judges for their questions, and good job, primary 3. So now I will invite primary 4, last one, to speak about economic inequality. Thank you.
Okay, primary 4, we're ready when you are. Who's starting you off?
They asked me to do the introduction. This is Trust for Sustainable Living, Economic Inequality. Next slide, please. The team members are me, Yungen, Esther, Mumudi, Samiha, Petra, and Kareem. Sorry if I butchered the names. Next slide, please. What is economic inequality and climate crisis? Economic inequality is the unequal distribution of income. On the other hand, climate crisis is when the climate acts in an unnatural way, usually caused by extra usage of fossil fuels. Okay. Effects of climate change. Natural disasters worsen economic inequality, so it's best to stop them right now. Examples are droughts, floods, and tornadoes. Next slide, please. My solution is green jobs, so we can reduce carbon and teach people how to care for nature. Green jobs include jobs like a nuclear power worker or an environmental scientist, and etc. Next slide, please. And my second solution is financial aid. This is for developing countries and it supports government-funded sustainable programs. What I'm advocating for right now is for large and very, very developed countries like Japan, the US, China, and Germany to give aid to developing countries. Next slide, please. Mr. Nielsen now?
Okay, so hi, I'm Tree from Vietnam. Let's start with how climate justice is important. It's important because total damage due to climate change are larger in developing countries. For example, crops are failing in Guatemala due to the drought, while glacier melt threatens villages in Peru. Next slide, please. Historically, wealthier countries are responsible for most greenhouse gas emissions, but lower income countries are bearing the brunt of the impacts that arise from these emissions. Next slide, please. So, how economics could impact climate change? It is necessary to build an economic policy with emphasis on green innovation and a fair transition for all countries. This policy should include no taxes or tax reduction for all companies that use renewable energy and border carbon taxes. The money collected from taxes can also be used to invest in green technology and renewable energy. Moreover, next slide, please. Moreover, denying funding to fossil fuel companies. And lastly, mobilizing finance from developed countries to developing countries and from across the private and public sectors to help poorer countries transit to green innovation smoothly and to reach global net zero by mid-century as committed in COP26. Thank you for listening. Now on to Esther.
Hi, my name is Esther. Climate change has led to desert encroachment and shrinking of water bodies. For example, the Lake Chad in northern Nigeria has shrunk by 90% in the last 60 years. Next slide please. Oil spill and gas flaring in southern Nigeria has degraded the environment and affected tourism. Next slide please. Consequent youth unemployment has led to increase in militancy. This has affected tourism and increased poverty. Next slide, please. Solution is more awareness about the negative effects of climate change. Government should promote afforestation to reduce desert encroachments. Next slide, please. Businesses should stop flaring and spills. They should support tourism to provide jobs for the youth. Thank you.
Rich countries and the global emission. Greenhouse gases are emitted by various manufacturing processes. The richest parts of the world produce most of the greenhouse gases. Rich countries produce 86%, poor countries produce 14%. Greenhouse gases cause extreme heat, melting of glaciers and ice caps, rising of sea levels. Effects of these are more experienced by the poor countries. Poor countries are unable to meet the cost of renewable energy. Renewable energy sources need lots of technology and new equipment. Most of the poor countries can't afford them. This results in use of more fossil fuel, more greenhouse gases. On the other hand, poor countries will end up with more foreign debts, wastage of available resources. Not only worsens the climate crisis, it worsens the economic inequality too.
How does climate crisis affect economic inequality? And what are the problems? Well, one problem is that many businesses use a large amount of fossil fuels. This includes factory workers, mining industries, electric generators, utility constructors, and more. The thing about these jobs is that they earn a lot of money. If climate crisis becomes a very big problem, it can even affect viruses. Like when COVID-19 was a very big problem, many people, specifically women, got kicked out of their jobs because they were told to do hospitality and other things for that time instead. Next slide, please. So how can we help climate justice? One way is to make renewable forms of energy cheaper so that we can start slowly using more forms of renewable energy. Another way is for governments and us to start spreading awareness of the cause. Petra, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. As the oceans warm up and polar ice melts, sea levels are set to go up. Changes in sea level affect people through flooding. It can harm our drinking water and our ability to grow crops. Next slide, please. Predicted sea level rise and economic inequality. Seas are predicted to rise a foot by 2050. Climate change impacts the poorest more than the wealthy. Poor countries will be affected more by this. 2 billion climate change refugees by 2100s. By the 2050s, 800 million people will live in cities where sea levels could rise by more than half a meter. Next slide, please. Consequence of a catastrophic sea level rise. Global refugee crises, more powerful hurricanes, destroyed economies, food and water crises, health crises, conflicts. The last time the world was this warm was 3 million years ago. Next slide, please. Governments can spread awareness if they keep fossil fuels in the ground, invest in renewable energy, plant trees to absorb more carbon, reduce plastic, and more. Next slide. What can we do? Poor countries should be supported. Our governments must stop handing out money to the wealthier. Next slide, please. According to George Eliot, it will never rain roses. When we want to have more roses, we must plant more roses. On to Karen.
Is it too late now? Well, of course not. While there are some people who think that we are currently at the end of the world, studies have shown humanity still has generations of life ahead. We also now know that the earlier we take action, the better off we are at stopping climate crisis once and hopefully for all. Next. Here we have a quote from Tony Robbins. Knowing is not enough, you must take action. Next. Nathan?
Nathan, you have to do the ending.
Who's doing your summary, primary 4?
Nathan was doing the summary. Nathan was doing the summary.
He just turned off his camera.
Nathan, can you hear us?
Oh, sorry. It was my sister was in Manila. Oh, so the summary is our solutions to climate change and economic inequality is green jobs, financial aid to developing countries, adopt fair climate policies, and taxation on carbon, make renewable, cost-effective when storms hit poor countries should be supported. And our governments must stop handing out money to the wealthier countries for loans and things that we have to pay back. Thank you.
Thank you, primary 4. Congratulations. Well done, your hard work have shown. Now I will invite the judges for any questions. Yes, Barry?
Finding my mute button. I should know how to do this by now, really, shouldn't I? Never mind. Well, thank you very much, team. That again was razor focused. I think you really addressed the issues very well and very broadly. Have you any sense, anybody, like again, I always like to think the biggest things first, the biggest problem first, and you talked about some of the solutions that we might offer. Is there one big problem and one big solution that could change the world, or does it need to be a combination of everything?
I would like to answer that. So first, climate change doesn't have just one solution. However, it does have one big problem and one big solution. The use of renewable sources. Most emissions come from fossil fuels like coal and nitrous oxide. So I would like to stop that. And making it cheap effective is part of that solution, because right now let's say you wanted to get a Tesla, an electric car, and that would be expensive, more expensive than your usual gas car that I have, that most people have. So right now, making it more cost friendly is right now the priority. We have the technology, however, we need the aid and it to be cost friendly. Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan.
Chrysanthemum, you had a question?
It was just, I just want to say, because I talked to all three before, so in order, not to believe that their presentation, you did an amazing job. And I really like the fact that you use some quotes, and this is something really interesting. And also at the end, the summary. So well done to this group as well. It was similar, my question was similar to Barry's. That's why I just, well, we're close in the winter, so the minds are the same. So well done, boys and girls.
Thank you, everyone, every team for the presentations. You have done a good job. And now we will slowly add everyone on the screen, and we will start the next part of our debate today, the actual debate part. Here we will take a step back and look at the topic, climate justice, how we're going to address it according to the stakeholders that everyone, the teams has presented today. And we will have a Jamboard, and then we will pick the top 5 ideas that will enable us to combat the climate crisis and address this inequality.
Okay, Anthea, can you see my Jamboard?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, Anthea, I'll let you carry on and I'll keep on adding people.
Okay. So we have our Jamboard, we have the ideas, we have compiled everything that has been shared over the presentations. And we would like to invite the debaters to give us their opinions and which one, top 5, that should be part of the challenge. Yes, Anika.
I would like to address a question to all other groups. Can I ask it?
Yes, go ahead.
So, for example, racial inequality. I'm talking about gender inequality and economic inequality. How can addressing your type of inequality address all other types of inequalities? For example, if you address racial inequality, how are you going to address gender inequality, generational inequality, and economic inequality? If you just dedicate governments and stuff to addressing economic inequality, then how can you address racial inequality and gender inequality and generational inequality, of course?
Is there someone from the other teams that would like to answer, Anika? Nelson?
Teamwork.
Okay. Mumudi?
Sorry, Miss, it was a mistake.
Okay. Joy?
We were discussing things that affect us.
Okay.
Perhaps looking at the Jamboard and sharing our ideas on here, we might be able to identify which points, Annika, will help to address inequality for the most groups and help to combat the climate crisis. That's everyone in now, Anthea, just so you know as well.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Anika?
Yeah, but what I'd like to say is if you address generational inequality, then because each generation contains all the inequalities, gender, racial, and economic inequality. If you address generational inequality, you're indirectly addressing all types of inequalities because they're contained in each generation ahead.
Okay. Which idea on the board are you selecting that you think that will address the inequalities, Anika?
I'm not using a point on the screen. It's just directly going against like what some people said for the question that I asked.
Okay. Baron, what do you have to say?
Can I ask for Anika's question?
Okay, go ahead.
If you can get rid of the one inequality, it will be lead the way to stop all inequalities. For example, if we combat racial inequality, we will open people's minds to help get rid of all inequalities.
But the point is, if you just address one inequality, and by the time you're trying to address it, you're not like simultaneously addressing any other inequalities. There's no silver bullet to this
kind of inequality thing. If you address generational inequality, you will automatically be addressing all other types.
Okay. Mumudi?
Younger I chose a note from the Jamboard, which is younger generations face the consequences of the actions of previous older generations. It's true because they eventually get worse with time.
Okay, thank you, Mumudi. Bhavana?
I believe equal education for all, then climate justice can be achieved because education is the passport for a better future. It will help women survive the impact of climate change better by changing jobs if required and finding solutions to local issues due to climate change.
Avandika? Thank you, Bhavana. Avandika, would you like to add something?
Yes. On women and girls have less access to education, healthcare, services. On education, can we also add access to equal jobs opportunities? Like they not access, but like they also don't have equal job opportunities.
So we already have those as two separate points. So which do you think is the most important, Avantika? Do the rest of the teams agree with you?
I think climate negatively impacts young people's health. Because health is more important, because without health you can't do, even though you get unequal jobs in the first place, you won't be able to do jobs or anything.
Okay. Thank you, Avantika. Nathan?
So about Annika's point about generational inequality, I kind of disagree. Although generational equality, it does hit, you know, the almost all. It doesn't mean that it hits everyone at the same time. For example, today, we've been trying to get generational inequality, right? And we've been majorly successful. Younger people are starting to see, you're starting to, have actually have a point against older people who do not really know what climate change or most of the world problems is, and instead stick to conspiracies. However, there's still, even though there's generational inequality, that does not mean that there is still racial inequality and economic inequality. So just hitting generational won't do it. There's no single bullet that can fix all problems at once. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan, for sharing that with us. Petra?
I think it's very important, destruction of crops and food shortages. I think it's very important to have a lot of food at times, and poor people, it's very hard for them when floods happen, that like stretches of crops and food storages. So I think that's very important.
Okay, thank you. Iberi? Iberi?
I think women and girls have less politic power or influence. It's important girls have more power and influence, because I'm a girl, and when I grow up, I want to have the same rights and the same power when I grow up, so then I can help stop climate change and make the world a better place.
Okay, thank you. Esther. Esther?
I choose green jobs will help build stronger economies to fight the climate crisis. For example, places like in northern Nigeria, where the Lake Chad is, if we build green jobs here, like afforestation, it will help by preventing the desert wind coming into the place and drying up the lake.
Thank you, Esther. Kaizen?
What Nathan said a few seconds ago, can I go against it?
Okay, Annika.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that yes, there may not be a single bullet, but that's the point. People are not talking about generational inequality. 90% of the world didn't know it existed. And I'm pretty sure that some people in this debate right now didn't even know it existed till now. Now, so here's my point. We have to raise awareness about it, and we have to help people understand that it's existing, it's a thing. Some older generations think it's a way of life, which is not how our world is meant to look. It's meant to look like we're actually trying to help cure these inequalities in our world, not to accept them as a way of life, because they are not a way of life. They can be cured, they can be fixed. It's all about raising awareness and telling the world about this. Now, one of my solutions to the inequality, actually two that we discussed during our presentation, were actually cohesiveness and communication. There should be times when younger generations and older generations can communicate. Think of cohesive solutions which suit both. And
Okay, Annika, thank you. Kaizen, would you like to choose one of the ideas on the board?
Yes, I would like to choose sharing knowledge with everyone will help them better coexist with the environment. I mean, I choose this because it's technically like an extension to access to equal education, technically.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I also got one argument.
All right.
Against that. Okay, never mind.
Samiha?
Yes, I think green solutions need to be made cheaper is another one, because it's important to make it cheaper, because these days people always rely on like costs of things and all that.
Okay.
Okay, we only have a few minutes left before we have to finish the debates, guys. So we're going to take final points from those students that haven't spoken yet, but have already got their hands raised. So if you've already had an opportunity to speak, we're going to give the floor to somebody else for the final few points. Go ahead, Anthea.
Kiranga?
I think the most important out of these is indigenous people depend on the environment for food and shelter. Because indigenous people live with the environment, unlike us. So then it will affect them more than us.
Okay. Nathan?
Oh, I just want to argue with Annika's point only. So Annika's saying that many people don't actually know generational inequality. I would like to argue with that. As you know, there's an internet catchphrase called boomer. That those are old people that have no understanding of world events and stick with the conspiracies. So So it's pretty well known about generational inequality in the internet. Most Redditors, Discord members, and etc. know about generational inequality. And the news also sheds a light to generational inequality. Well, some news, some news that shed a light onto generational inequality, or news that actually have good sources, others that don't, and actually defend the conspiracies that older people are, saying is like companies like Fox News and etc. So generational inequality is pretty well known right now.
Okay, I will now pass over to Kirsty to wrap up what we have gathered on the Jamboard.
Okay, thank you everyone for sharing your thoughts and ideas there. Unfortunately, we haven't got time to hear from all of you because you've all raised some amazing points in your presentations and so far, but you can see that we've managed to highlight more than 5 actually. We've got a few more on here that I've highlighted in orange for you that you feel you have identified as the key arguments that are going to help us to address both inequality and the climate crisis. So I'm going to finish off by saying well done for your amazing presentations today. I'm sure you would like to all give yourselves a big round of applause. We have to give the judges a little while to deliberate and make their decision. So the judges are going to be leaving in a few moments and joining a separate meeting that Carl is hosting for you to go and make the very, very, very difficult decisions that you have now got to make for our individual and our team awards. I'd like everyone to give themselves a big pat on the back. Thank you for bearing with us with the Zoom technicalities that we've had today. Apologies, we've done lots of practice sessions and the Zoom settings have all changed for this meeting, which is obviously the most important one, more so than the practices. But well done to our students for their amazing presentations and their debating ideas. Thank you for sharing those with us so well researched, clearly and concisely. I do not envy the judges this very difficult task. So I'd like to wrap up. Thank you very much to our judges for listening and to Anthea for moderating for us. And we invite you back in around about 30 minutes on the same webinar link, at which point our judges will return to announce the winners of our both individual and group awards for the debates, and we'll also be announcing our essay competition winners as well, because we haven't made those announcements yet. So come back in 30 minutes around about 1 UTC, and we will speak to you again with the judges to share the awards for the debates and the essay competition. Well done everybody.
Well done friends. Bye. See you in 30 minutes.
Thank you.
Bye. See you
later.
See you later. And also, Kirsty, Eva.
You don't have to, friends. You don't have to leave. You can just stop.
More than 10% of global deaths, and by year 2100, 200 million lives are at risk to rising sea levels. And what is the reason for all of these? Climate change. Indonesia, one of the world's largest greenhouse gas emitters, home to third worst air quality and fastest sinking city in the world. But remember that climate change also affects the entire world. Billion tons of ice melts each year, causing rising sea level, raising global temperature, increased wildfire causing habitat loss. Humans don't realize how our everyday action could affect the future of our world. And if we don't do anything now, the world will come to an end. We are calling you, yes you, our communities, our government, our world leader. Please make your stand now. Save our world.
Tamatlaan muli kita.
Sumunod mo. Iligtas ang ating mundo. Rettet unsere Erde.
Спасибо мир.
The year 2021 is a call to action for climate change. We need a green revolution. Small island developing states like my home, the Bahamas, are continuously experiencing the negative effects of a global climate change. Our archipelago demand global accountability, global responsibility for a green revolution. We are prepared to be agents of change for a global green revolution.
Good day everyone. Today my colleagues and I will be informing you on climate change and some methods you may use to ameliorate its effects.
During power generations, such as the burning of fossil fuels and industrial processes, such as the production of steel, cement, etc., carbon dioxide, CO2, is produced, which is harmful to the environment. However, carbon capture technology can store this gas deep underground to prevent excessive amounts from being emitted into the atmosphere.
Carbon capture and storage, also known as CCS, is the process of capturing and storing carbon dioxide before it is released into the atmosphere. The technology can capture up to 90% of CO2 released by burning fossil fuels in electricity generation and industrial processes such as cement production. CO2 can be captured using different methods. The main ones are post-combustion and pre-combustion.
Thank you all for listening to our presentation on how we can mitigate the effects of climate change. I hope you are and will continue to be eco and environmentally friendly.
Wonderful. Thank you, Eva, for sharing those. So that was our 2021 Climate Justice Sustainability Challenge winners from each age category. So we had Bahar Müge Mutlu from Kadgas Bilim College in Turkey, who was our overall winner as voted by the audience for her amazing A Song for Climate Change. We also saw our secondary category winner, Nisha Ayoki from ACS School Jakarta in Indonesia with her One Mission Save Our World video. Our teacher award was won by the Climate Action video by Jeffrey Collett Russell from the Bahamas. And finally, the last video saw was ameliorating the effects of climate change through carbon capture by Queen's College students from Guyana. So just to give us a little bit of a flavour of the other ways we have explored climate justice this year. But it's time to return to the debates that we've just had. Our judges have just had to make a very difficult decision. So I'm going to hand over to Carl and ask him if the judges are ready to share their thoughts on the debates and their results.
Thank you very much, Kirsty, and thank you so much to all of the amazing debaters. The quality of your presentations has truly been phenomenal. What we were saying was we thought that you were debating like people much older than you, sometimes not just at secondary school level, but even university level sometimes. So really, we were absolutely impressed by the work that you did, and you're all winners, absolutely all winners in our eyes. You also were the top 2 essay writers from your countries as well. So we know that the standard is very high, and you've really brought that today to us in the debates. So we have 3 judges, and they are going to make a few comments and also make some announcements about the different awards. So we're going to start with Barry Muir, chair of TSL, who is going to talk about the best overall group. And then we're going to move to Chrysanthi, who is going to talk about the judges' group commendations. And then we are going to go to Lena, who is going to announce the individual awards. So without further ado, over to Barry.
Thanks, Carl, and thank you all debaters for making our job so difficult today. It really was an extraordinary set of debates. I think these are the best I've ever participated in, and the quality was fantastic. And there's very, very little to choose between you. You guys gave us a really hard job. We have come to a decision on the best group, and in fact, we couldn't quite come to a decision on the best group. We've come up with two best groups, so there are joint winners. And let me tell you that the two winners are Group 4 and Group 2. Now, Group 4, we really liked the teamwork there. They came across very strongly as a team. They proposed some solutions, which is always good to see. It's not just to be told about the problems, it's good to hear some solutions. And the presentation flowed along very nicely between the different team members. So well done, Group 4, joint winners. And Group 2, we liked very much their research. They had lots of facts and figures there. They'd obviously thought about the problem very well. Again, good team effort, and you tackled the questions, but difficult questions. You tackled the questions very well. So well done, guys. The other two groups were very, very close to these two, I have to say. So I think Chrysanthi is going to talk a bit about those.
Thank you, Barry. Yes, groups 1 and 3, they were really, really close. And as Barry said, we really enjoyed your presentations. I would go with Group 1, Nika, Alexandria, Neil, Kaiser and Lawrence, Shahnavi and Riel. I mean, you were really amazing. Well done for the coherence and complexity, your interaction in multiple ways. As for Group 3, I, Perry, Emma, Anjay, Hiranga, Joy, Nelson, Hanyung, well done for being specific and solutions oriented, because it was something that we really needed. Well done to those two groups. You made to 4 groups. You made our decision really, really, really difficult. But well done to everybody. Thank you.
Wonderful. And we're just sharing our primary 2 and primary 4 teams up on the screen with you now. Congratulations. That's the first time we've ever had joint winners. Congratulations.
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 Well done, everybody. Okay, so congratulations to Team Primary 2, who were looking at gender inequality, and Team Primary 4 that were looking at economic inequality, both quite challenging forms of inequality to address. But yes, very well researched. Congratulations, everyone. Well done. Okay. And Lena, does that mean you're making the individual announcements?
Yeah, that is it. Even harder decision. And yeah, I would like to say that we could really see it was a group work, first of all. So as we said, everybody's a winner, you know, and it was very hard for us to make a decision. So yeah, I'm going to start with Group 1, where Annika was really impressed us with her poem. That was really nice poem. I was wondering if we were going to be able to have the poem at some point, because it was, yeah, I really liked it. And we all did. And also we were impressed by your presentation skills. So well done with that. And
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so now for Group 2, Avantika, we were also very impressed with the content of your presentation, and it was very high quality. We really like that you got into the topic really fast, and you understood all of the problems behind it, so that was really nice. And also you had very good presentation skills, as we were saying, the really high level overall. So well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then group 4, Petra. Yeah, we really appreciated the fact that you were super clear and your argumentation was really straightforward. And sometimes in debate, you don't have the time, you have 15 seconds and you just have to make your point. So we really appreciated that. So well done for that. And now for the overall winners, also group leader, the overall winner, I would like to call Ipery. Yeah, we were amazed by the fact that you had great leadership skills. We could see that, I mean, you were making a great introduction, introducing your group, but you were also leaving a lot of space for the other people in the group to express themselves and express their points. So these are the 2 really important qualities when being a leader and someone very inspirational. So yeah, congratulations to you.
Thank you. And I would like to thank like all the organizers to organize this competition, because like this competition would like help people, I mean children, the youth generation, to when they grow up to make the world a better place.
Yeah, we don't doubt that. We have faith in you. I'm really impressed by the work that you have been doing. So I cannot imagine what you will do in the future. Really, all of you. That's really inspiring and very motivating. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, April. We didn't pay her to say that, but we're very grateful that you've enjoyed the opportunity to take part. It's been a challenging question this year for many of you, and we were all impressed by the quality of your essays, but also the quality of the debates that you have shared with us today. So thank you for participating, for taking part, for sharing those ideas so well. There's a lot of research, there's a lot of effort, there's a lot of preparation that goes into these debates. We've been working with these students for over a month now. They've had several hours spent with Ever and I trying to discuss their ideas, refine them, and try and put them into an 8-minute PowerPoint, which is always much more challenging than it sounds. But it's hard to cut them short when they've got so many amazing ideas. So huge congratulations to all of our teams today. Well done. Give yourselves a little round of applause, primary students, for our International Debates 2022. Well done. And it falls on me to announce the winners of the other competition that we had, that again seems many months ago. It's what started you all out on your road to the international debates, and this is the winners of our essay competition. So I'm going to announce these results in reverse order. These haven't been made public yet, not even the top 10 know which order they're going to be revealed in. So in 10th place this year was Apery. Congratulations, Apery, from Heartland International School, UAE. Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations. The judges were very impressed by your essay. That was an excellent one. Thank you. And in 9th place from Bestep College in Turkey was Karim.
I didn't expect that.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, kind of.
Are you pleased?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well done, Karim. You did a fantastic job. Congratulations on your 9th place achievement. Thanks. Well done. Okay, in 8th place, I'm not sure if she was able to join us today, but was Amelia Kerwin, also from Heartland International School in UAE. I haven't seen her at the earlier debates, but congratulations to Amelia. If you're here, let us know and we can spotlight you as well. But well done to Amelia Kerwin from Heartland International School, UAE. In 7th place, he's definitely with us and is one of our former top 10 primary debaters and essay winners as well. From Malaysia is Kazan Tan.
Number 7.
From SJKC Chung Hua Wei Sin School. I'm sure I didn't say that right, but congratulations, Kazan. Well done.
Yeah, back up. Remember last time I was like 3rd or 4th or 2nd?
So still doing well. It's a big achievement to be in the top 10 position once, but you've done it for a second year in a row. So congratulations, and fingers crossed, maybe next year will be your year for top prize. Well done, Kaizen.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll try. I'll try. Thanks, Steve, and everybody.
Keep up the good work, Kaizen. Well done. In sixth place, again, I'm not sure they've been able to join us today, but from Smarty Hisham Middle School in Egypt is Mohammed Maher. So congratulations to Mohammed on his sixth place. In fifth place, again, definitely with us, one of our debaters is Hiranga Suriwa from Trinity College, Sri Lanka. That's an excellent winner's face, Hiranga. Are you pleased?
Yeah, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased.
Top 5. Well done. You got recognised for excellent debating skills, and you've got 5th place in our essay competition as well. Congratulations to you, Hiranga. Well done.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your efforts this week. Okay, and in 4th place from Sri Kuala Lumpur International School in Malaysia is Emma Euro Wong. Well done, Emma. Congratulations. I know it's getting very late in Malaysia and Sri Lanka, but well done. Congratulations. So, an excellent achievement to gain 4th place out of 246 students. So, big congratulations to you, Emma. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And our top 3 places, we've got 3 students left on our list. Our 3rd place finalist was Anika Barbawal from Heartland International School, UAE, recognised as one of our individual commendations by the judges for today's debates as well. Congratulations, Anika.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be one of our top essay writers and one of our top debaters?
It feels really good to be able to do it for the first time I enter the competition, but I think I would give most of the credit to Miss Kirsty and Miss Eva. Because they helped me understand most of the concepts, and later also to be able to help me during the debate with pointers on the Jamboard and everything.
Well, we helped you a little bit with your debate, but the essay was absolutely all you, Anika. So well done for achieving 3rd place in the essay competition, and congratulations for your debates performance as well. And fingers crossed we'll see you next year again as well. Well done, Anika.
Thank you.
Okay. And in 2nd place, we have got, again, another previous top 10 primary student from last year from Sunshine Maple Bear Elementary School in Vietnam, Tree. Congratulations, Tree.
Thank you.
2nd year in a row, you're in the top 10. How do you feel?
I don't know, I feel great.
You feel great, excellent. So again, well recognised in the debates, but fantastic to be 2nd place this year in our essay competition. Do you think you can make it to number 1 next year?
I don't know, maybe.
So it was a very closely fought top 10 this year. There weren't many points separating all of you, so you've all done very well. But congratulations to Tree for coming 2nd place in our international primary school essay competition, which only leaves me to reveal one final name, who is the top entry and number 1 in our primary category. And that was from Team Economic Inequality, Esther from Pearl Shore School in Nigeria.
Not first.
Esther, congratulations. You were number 1 primary student in our essay competition this year.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. The judges were very impressed by the very personal essay that you wrote, highlighting locally important climate and inequality issues to you in Nigeria. You highlighted water shortages, you spoke in the Lake Chad Basin, you spoke about desert encroachment and gender inequality. But not only did you highlight those issues and the impacts they were causing, the judges were also really impressed at the solutions that you recommended to try and solve those problems, like afforestation, educating girls, and providing better technology for water management and weather prediction. So a huge congratulations to Esther Odin Bayade from Pearl Shore Academy, Nigeria, who is our 1st place primary winner for the 2022 TSL essay competition. Congratulations, Esther. Can we have a big round of applause for Esther from everyone?
Thank you.
How does it feel, Esther? Are you pleased?
Very happy.
Very happy. That's good. And this is the first time that you've entered the competition, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Will you enter again, do you think?
I don't know.
So I very much hope you do. I certainly enjoyed reading your essay, as did the other judges. It was highlighted by all of the judges as their top choice. So well done. Congratulations, Esther, who is our primary essay competition winner. You're very welcome. Huge congratulations to Esther. And I can hear, is that a proud parent or teacher in the background? You've got someone there supporting you. Congratulations to your teachers and your parents who've been helping you as well. Oh, there we go. I can see a teacher. Hello.
Hello.
Congratulations, Elizabeth. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks to TSL.
So this is Palshaw's first time entering the competition, isn't it, I believe?
Yeah, it is.
Wow, you've done very well. You can't get much better than first time entry and coming out as the #1 primary category, can you?
Thank you. I'm so glad.
You're welcome. We very much look forward to seeing and reading your entries next year, but huge congratulations to Esther and then her teacher, Elizabeth. Well done to both of you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So that draws, I suppose, the TSL 2022 International Primary Debates and Essay Competition on Climate Justice to a close for this year. I'd like to say again a huge congratulations to all of our student participants. A massive thank you to all of the teachers who have supported them in joining the practice and preparation sessions, supported them on Slack to engage with the conversation and share their thoughts and ideas. Big thank you to the parents as well. I know many of you are on your school holidays or it's evening when you've been practicing, so your parents have been supporting you as well. Huge thank you to our judges for joining us, taking the time to share your thoughts not only on the essays, but also on the amazing debates that we've seen today. Thank you to the team at TSL who've been supporting us, Anthea for her wonderful moderation and Natalie for her work behind the screen and behind the scenes on Zoom, answering your chat questions as well. And thank you to Carl for wrangling the judges and getting those decisions out of them. It's been a tough year to decide both our essay competition winners and the debate winners, but I'm delighted that we've managed to do it. So congratulations to all of you. I think you should all give yourselves a final round of applause as well. So before we go, I'd just like to remind you that although the primary debates have now finished and you can relax for a little while and breathe easily without any preparation sessions with Eva and I for a few weeks, I would like to remind you that there is still a climate summit going on for the rest of the week. So from Wednesday, we'll be having different workshops where you'll be able to further explore the topic of climate justice. So Lena, one of our wonderful judges today, will be speaking on Thursday about racial and Indigenous equality. We'll be exploring generational and educational equality on Wednesday. Friday, we'll be thinking about gender equality, and Saturday we're going to be looking at economic and social equality. So check the Slack groups to have a look at the latest timetable. Eva has shared all the links in there with you, but we welcome you to attend those interactive sessions and ask your questions to the experts that are going to be sharing with you their thoughts and ideas on how we can address inequality to combat the climate crisis. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We will be sharing this recording onto Facebook, so if you want to view it again, it'll also be available on the TSL community platform, which is available at tsl.earth and also on the TSL YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and congratulations once again to all of our primary debaters.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Are we going to know our PowerPoint presentations, like on who's first, second, third, like you just did about PowerPoint?
So, I'll see if the judges are able to share that information with us. I'm not sure how they've scored you, but we might be able to share that with you. One other thing I do need to mention, which I forgot, is that we will be emailing certificates to you for the debate results, and they will be sent to your teacher champions by the 22nd of July. So by the end of next week, you should receive the debates certificates as well. So keep an eye on your emails from those, okay? Karim, have you got a question as well?
Do we have to join those sessions, or are they necessary?
No, they're totally optional, but we recommend that you would if you're available to help you further explore the topic of climate justice and see if you agree with the experts that are going to be sharing their thoughts with us as well. Wonderful.
Come and challenge me.
Yeah, it's your turn to judge Lena next time.
Exactly. To ask a difficult question. I'm sure you can do that.
Barry will be joining us again as a moderator for one of our panel discussions, and of course Eva, Anthea, Carl, Natalie and I will be there as well. So thank you very much everybody for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day and we look forward to hopefully seeing you later in the week. Thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Well done, everybody.
Bye. Friends.
Bye. See you guys next year again.
Well, please wait to hear about the snack party. We'll be informing you soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's an after party. It's called snack party. You will see what it is. We'll inform you.
Bye everybody. Bye, Grace. Well done.
Thanks, Chrysanthi.
Thank you.
Bye next week.
Thanks everybody.